Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a realistic Chuck E. Cheese restaurant in Minecraft, step by step, block by block, including the interior for all of your city building needs. You have already seen the entire outside of the building. I hope that you guys like it. Heading inside, we have the iconic stage with custom animatronics, including both a massive seating area and a small play area. We also have a small food/ice cream counter with a kitchen in the back. And for the part that I'm sure you've been waiting for, we have an extensive arcade with a wide variety of games, including Whack-A-Creeper, air hockey, generic arcade games, skee ball, a basketball game, a motorcycle racing game, claw machines. We even have ticket redemption machines as well. I even managed to fit this mini bowling game in here as well, which I really love. And of course, the prize counter. This is possibly my favourite part of the entire build. By the way, I was hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. This does not count. If you spotted me, leave a comment down below. The first person to find me will have their comment pinned. This is the amount of space required to make the build. I would recommend making this grid in your world, and if you do, to find the starting position, begin at the front left hand corner of your grid, count backwards, find the 7th block. That is where this tutorial will begin. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing 15 cyan terracotta in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then place 4 smooth quartz block on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then extend it to the right by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then extend down to the ground, joining to the actual ground using a cyan terracotta. Then extend the cyan terracotta to the right by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then extend towards the back of the build by 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Then extend across the back of the build to the right by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then extend inwards towards the front by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then extend across the back of the build to the right again by 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then extend forwards by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then extend left one, leave a gap, and then extend all the way over to the left. The shape that we should be left with is this. And now that we have this, we can return all the way to this position. And then we simply extend to the right across the back of the build, and we line up with where we very first started, and then we can simply just extend the cyan terracotta all the way to the front, and this will give us the general outer wall layout, which should look like this. With the general layout complete, we can now focus on individual walls, starting with the front. Begin by placing 2 white concrete extending along the top of this row. 1, 2. Then place a quartz brick, followed by a black stained glass pane, black stained glass pane, 2 quartz brick, 1, 2. Then a black stained glass pane, black stained glass pane. Then a quartz brick, then 2 white concrete, 1, 2. Just like this. Now we are just going to move through the entrance area, and we are going to do the exact same series of blocks, but in reverse. So we will place 2 white concrete, 1, 2, then a quartz brick, then black stained glass pane, black stained glass pane, 2 quartz brick, 1, 2, then black stained glass pane, black stained glass pane, quartz brick, and then 2 white concrete, just like this. So, first of all, we are going to extend the white concretes up by 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this applies to each one of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These ones next to the entrance, and of course the ones that we've already extended up at the ends as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uniquely, with the white concrete and the cyan terracottas underneath them, we want to extend them 1 row forwards. So once again, that is any instance where we have these white concrete pillars, as I will call them, we will extend them forwards, and this will help create a nice bit of depth with the walls, especially as we start building them up. Just like this. Then we are going to extend the quartz bricks up, this time only by 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And also, we do just want to connect them together across the tops as well. So we'll just flip over to the other side, 1, 2, 3, and we can actually just extend all the way across to the left and down, and then just these 2 rows up. It's a little bit faster. Then we will place upside down smooth quartz stairs on top of the quartz bricks rows. That sentence doesn't make sense, but hopefully what we have just done does make sense. So now that we have done that, we can raise up each one of the glass blocks as well. I'm actually a little unsure about this, and I'll tell you why. So we've extended glass blocks up to fit the window, but we then have to apply mangrove stairs across the tops of the windows like this, and then mangrove signs aside these stairs, just like this. Which is alright, but we will find that the glass pane grips on the inside. If that's something that bothers you, you may want to change that into something else so that the windows will only be 2 rows high, but I kind of like this better. Let's hop over to the opposite side and do the same. So we'll raise up each one of the glasses, and then we will apply the mangrove. And we can always change it later on as well. This is something that we would probably focus on when we move inside of the build. So this is what we should have so far. It's looking quite fancy already. Next, we are going to focus on the main entrance. We can begin by placing a row of black concrete all the way along the inside of the big empty space in the middle of our wall. As you can see, the black concrete just sits 1 row back from the rest of the frame. We can then split it in half by placing a row of red concrete straight down the middle, with black stained glass pane both on the left and right sides of the frame. We then want to place a row of quartz slab across the top of the doorway like this. Then, starting over here on the left, we will place a row of alternating lime and green terracotta, just like this, extending from the left to the right, which we then want to extend 1 row forwards. So we will extend it forwards using the alternating pattern. So if you placed lime terracotta on the back row, you place the green terracotta in front, and vice versa. We then, starting on the right side here, will extend this green terracotta block upwards by 6 rows, and we of course want to do this using the alternating pattern, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like this. And then I'm just going to extend the left side up the same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm just going to join it together left to right at the top. And that will give us this. And that probably sounded really complicated now that I run it back in my head, but this is all we need to have. And then, along the inside of both the left side and the right side, we want to add another layer of the terracotta. So that's the left, and then this is the right side. And then across the bottom as well, just like this. Then we will fill the rest of the empty space in using red concrete, just like this. We will place a white terracotta here, extend left and right. Place 2 rows of light grey concrete on top, magenta terracotta here and here with light grey concrete on top, and then extend inwards like this. Then we just want to extend these visible terracotta blocks 1 row backwards. So we want to extend them backwards, of course, in the same manner that we've done the rest of the terracotta, so in a checkered pattern like this. I always find it kind of looks like a cheese grater. I always find it easier to place one of the terracottas first, or one of the blocks first, and then the other afterwards. I think that just goes a little bit smoother. So we are just going to end up with this, and you can extend it even further back if you like, but I kind of like the floating look of the sign, if that makes sense. So now that we've done that, we now have to whip out the loom momentarily, throw a white banner in there with black dye, and apply the per fast pattern. This will give us an eye banner, which sounds weird to say actually, but that's what it is. We'll place one here, and a wither skeleton skull here. We will then place pale oak shelves underneath the red concrete, just left to right like this. Then we will place a layer of quartz slabs that kind of just extend all the way along the sign like this, so from left to right, kind of like wrapping around, just sitting underneath the shelves. We also want to place a lantern here, and surround those lanterns with mangrove signs. The end result will look like this. I'm just going to empty my inventory out for a second, as the next thing we have to do is write out the words Chuck E. Cheese. So, crack open the loom, white banner in there with black dye. The first letter we must make is C. So this is the chief pattern, base pattern, and then pale dexter pattern. Next is H, which is the pale dexter, pale sinister, and then fess. Next is U, which is pale dexter, pale sinister, and base. Next is K, which is pale dexter, and then bend, and bend sinister. Next is E, which is pale dexter, chief, fess, and base. And then lastly, actually, is just S, which is chief, base, bend. Maybe we didn't have to clear out the inventory, and that gives us the word chooks, which I'm hoping isn't a bad word. I should really Google these things. That sounds offensive to somebody. So all we have to do is place our C here, H, U, C, K, then we leave a gap, E, leave a gap, C, H, E, E, S, E. Just like this. I do also realise that these letters aren't even per se, but I don't know how else to do them. The alternative would be to move the chuck just like one row over to the left here, and then kind of like leave the E in the middle, but then it's still not even, so there's no winning really. Now that we have made the walls and the entrance, we can make the rest of the front. To begin, we will remove all of the remaining grass and grid from in front of the build. Next, we are going to place a layer of smooth stone that just extends from one side of the grid to the other, sitting just in front of these walls, like so. We can then fill the space in behind the smooth stone with smooth stone. We also want to add some spruce stairs in between the windows, with flipped up spruce trapdoors on the left and right, and we want to do this on both sides. I'm also considering whether or not we should add a dustbin as well, but I don't know. It would just be like a cauldron and an oak trapdoor just like here, and probably here. And I think that certainly makes it look a little bit more interesting, I guess. Whether you decide to add those or not, we now have to add some smooth stone. So we will place 2 rows on both the right and left sides of the empty space. We will place 2 rows extending from in front of where the benches are, just like so. We will also place smooth stone extending from the edge of this pillar here all the way over to the left, and this is going to be a rather large amount, so we'll just get all of this extended. And it is a little bit more nuanced than this, as we do have to add some grass into it as well, but we'll do that in a second. And then we can also just add the smooth stone in front of the bench on this side and in front of the, what I will call the pillars on this side. So then we want to place grass block here along the inside of this car parking space, and here along the inside of this car parking space. We will place cyan terracotta in the 2 empty holes that have been left, with ferns on the grass. I always want to say in the grass, but it's on technically, really. And then yellow carpet at the head of the car parking spaces, like this. We also want to add a street light in the form of 2 polished black stone wall on top of each other, just in the corner here, with a beacon on top, and then a black carpet on top of that. We then want to repeat this onto the opposite side, so we will just place a row of grass block here, and here, and we'll preemptively just stick the ferns in the grass, or on the grass. Then cyan terracotta in the 2 empty spaces, with yellow carpet at the top, just like this. And then we can just have our lamp on the corner of the build, which is of course our 2 wall, beacon, and then black carpet combo. We do also want to have some plant boxes. So these plant boxes are basically here. So 1, 2, 3 rows here. And we replace this with grass block and then large ferns inside. And we do this on the opposite side as well. So 1, 2, 3. We'll replace those, place some large ferns. And then we've just got to grab the spruce trapdoors and we just clad the sides of the large ferns, just like so. We do this on both sides. I don't know how I ran into that lamp. And once you've done that, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much the entire front of the build. With the entire front of the build complete, we can now focus on the other sides, starting with the right wall. On the right wall, we want to begin by placing a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 quartz brick extending up on top of the cyan terracotta, with an upside down smooth quartz stair on top. And we just want to extend these blocks all the way along the wall, all the way to the back of the build. Kind of. We actually want to leave 2 rows at the end here, and then place rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white concrete like this, extend up like so, and then we can continue our pattern. So just to make it easy, I'll place 1, 2, 3 quartz bricks here, and then upside down smooth quartz stairs on top. And we can just extend the bricks in between each other from front to back. Or back to front as well, actually. And then finally a row of upside down smooth quartz stair on top. And that will give us this. So now that we have done this on the right side of the build, we actually want to go ahead and do the exact same thing over here on the left side. So we will preemptively add our 2 rows of 5 white concrete here in the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll just extend this row towards the front. And then we have our row of 1, 2, 3, 4 bricks with upside down stairs on top. And then I'm just going to extend the first row of bricks all the way towards the front of the build like this. And then up the side, and then an upside down stair at the top. And then I think it makes it just a whole lot easier just to extend all the way in between the 2 sides, just filling this in. And that will give us this. So now that we have made the front, left and right walls, we can focus all of our attention on the back of the build. So to begin, we are just going to make the white concrete pillars where necessary. So we can extend this row of white concrete to the left like this. We can come all the way over to this side and we can extend the white concrete 1 row inwards like so. And then on this corner, we want a similar thing. We want to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white concrete and extend here and here. And then I guess we can just place 1 here as well. So we'll just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I suppose we'll just extend the white concrete this way in both directions. And then I'm just going to connect all of this together with a row of upside down smooth quartz stair just at the top. And then we can just freely fill all of this in with our quartz bricks. So just like this. And yeah, let's add the quartz bricks now. So the quartz bricks just want to get placed basically underneath where these stairs are. So we don't quite want to venture into this area just yet, the little outer building that you can see. So the outer building, as I've decided to call it, is the kitchen area. And that just has its own separate set of blocks and separate... not really colour palette exactly, because we're using pretty much mostly the same blocks, but it is a little bit different. Perfect. So now that we have done this, we are going to focus on the kitchen area. But I think first we will just remove all of the grass from inside of this little building here. And we'll replace it with smooth stone. Just like so. Then we are going to place an oak door here, and then 2 rows of smooth quartz block on top of the cyan terracotta, so 1, 2, and just because we do keep swapping between so many quartzes, this is smooth quartz, not regular quartz or quartz brick or whatever, this is smooth quartz. We then want to add a little bit of white concrete along the side here. So I think that we'll just start off by placing 1 row like this. We have to make the roof, which is why I didn't want to go too much more into it. So basically, we place a deep slate brick slab here in front of the white concrete, extend off to the side by 1, and then we want to start extending up and back. And I believe that we do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then we start extending like down and to the right. So like down and right, down and right, down and right, just like this. So unfortunately, there's no real way to keep this even on both sides, so we just kind of have to accept this. And we can remove some of the white concrete, and we do have to place a little bit more. So as you can see, we can now just place our slabs. It would actually be helpful if we were to grab the deep slate brick block. It would be a little bit faster than just placing 2 layers of slabs. So we'll place the deep slate bricks where appropriate. I mean, you can see where they are. And that is the end result. Looking pretty good. Next, we are going to hang a sign above this door, which is just going to read employee entrance only. Maybe I'll stick some dashes underneath, just like this. We also have to remove the row of grid from in front of this area, and then an additional 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, extending right. And then we will extend towards this back wall. Then we will remove 2 rows along the back wall. So you can see that we're making a bit of a weird shape here. Just like so. And then we want to... Actually, you know what? Let's just fill all of this in with smooth stone. Because I think it will be a little bit smoother this way. Huh, smooth stone, smoother. Just like this. And then we want to add a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ferns here. And then we can actually just go ahead and remove all of the remaining grass and grid. So... perfect. We will then place 1, 2, 3 cyan terracotta here, extending along this row, 2 smooth stone, 3 cyan terracotta, white concrete, and then 3 cyan terracotta. We will then extend both the cyan terracotta, the white concrete, and the smooth stone, all of these rows forwards to equal the length of the ferns that we have on the left. We'll stick yellow carpet at the top of the spacers, as is customary in Mini City. And then we will stick some grey concrete in front of all of this. So, just like so. Next, we will add a light here in the form of 2 polished black stone wool, beacon, and then a black carpet on top. Then over here in this corner, we're just going to stack some boxes. They can pretty much be anything, but they're basically just brown shulker boxes and then just a chest here in the corner. You can have any configuration that you'd like. leave a gap, try kelp block, couple of yellow candles on top, leave a gap, 2 red terracotta, spruce trapdoors on top, just like this. Next, we are going to add some seating in the form of some spruce stairs. So we'll have 2 spruce stairs here, 2 spruce stairs here. We'll flip up some trapdoors either side. We'll stick a cauldron in the middle with an oak trapdoor on top. And then we'll place a couple of iron bars, just one here and one here. And then I always think that paintings look good on buildings. So, I mean, it could literally be anything. They could be advertisements. They could just be, they mainly be advertisements, actually. Like, why would you have a painting on the side of a building randomly? But it could be advertising something that's, like, actually in Chuck E. Cheese or, like, for something else. Either way, I think that they make nice decoration. Is it weird that I might prefer the back of the build to the front? Does this just not seem so cozy? I'm crazy, aren't I? With the back of the build complete, we can now head inside of the build momentarily to work on the internal structure. So to begin, we are going to place a row of 5 cyan terracotta extending back from this block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we are just going to extend 1 row inwards like this. And we'll do the same on the opposite side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just 1 row inwards like this. We then want to place a row of red concrete here, extending up 1, 2, 3, just like so. We'll stick a black concrete on top, and we will extend that black concrete to the left, 1, 2, 3, and to the right, 1, 2, 3, just like this. We are then going to place smooth quartz block on top of the cyan terracotta, extending up and connecting to the black concrete on the sides, just like so. And we also want to just place the same black stained glass pane as we have on the front. So in the same position, we want it here on the inside too. And we are then going to just remove all of the grass from inside of this area. And I never know what to do in these circumstances. So we will have a checkered pattern of blue concrete and blue concrete powder. And I never know whether to start the floor in line with the doors, although that does look quite good, doesn't it? Or whether to start it like I'll use a mod for this, or whether to start it like 1 row back. See, that looks right too. So like, does this look better or this look better? I'm erring on the side of this. So now that we have done that, we can now remove all of the remaining grass from inside of the build, which is quite a task. So I am personally going to remove the grass from just either side of the entrance area here, like this. After that, I'm just going to remove it from the back corner. The reason being is that this will give us just a nice, simple shape to remove. I just find it a little bit easier to do so. And I'll also just remove a couple of rows from the edges as well. Because, once again, I just find it a lot easier for some reason not to be destroying the blocks against a wall. Because I'm pretty clumsy. And I can quite easily just chunk out a wall without thinking about it. Because I don't know about you guys, when it comes to like removing all of these blocks and just like mass building and just like mass removing, I kind of just zone out a little bit, and that's when I start making mistakes. So, and also this just looks far more manageable now, doesn't it? So let's remove all of this. Now that we have removed all of the grass, we can install the floor. The floor is really simple. It is a checkered blend of both light grey wool and grey wool. As usual, I would recommend placing all of one block first. In this case, I'm placing the light grey wool, but you can do it any way around. I'm going to try and get these weird bits just filled in at the front first, and then we can focus on the larger floor. I did also consider, by the way, which is something that you may want to do, instead of there being two separate floors, you could just further extend the blue floor that we made at the entrance just all the way through the build, if you like. But I did research quite a few Chuck E. Cheeses, and it always seems to be different. So that's why I've decided to use two different floors. But do feel free to, like, I would probably prefer that, but I am trying to be somewhat realistic. So it's up to you. I'm sure that in some Chuck E. Cheeses, I'm sure it's not this. I'm sure that you can probably just do whatever you like, really. But this is what we're gonna go with. Perfect, so that is all of the light grey. Now we can add all of the dark grey. And if I sound any different, it is because I'm fully reclined in my chair, as this is, well, this is time consuming. Why couldn't we just pick one colour? And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the floor will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. And that's very satisfying to look at, actually. With the floor complete, we can now focus on the roof. The roof is made by placing alternating block of iron and white concrete blocks in line with the top of the walls. So once again, a checkered pattern. Things are a little bit different here, as we can't just place all of one block first exactly, but there is, I think, an easier way of doing things than what I'm doing now. So once you've got that first initial row out of the way, I would recommend then placing all of one block, just extending in front of this row, and then the alternating block in between. And this is how I am going to make the roof, and this is how I would recommend doing it. So just one block at a time, just left to right, right to left, just like this. So all of the white concrete, then swap to block of iron, place all of the iron in between, and then place the next row of iron, and then fill it in with white concrete. Then the next row of white concrete, just so on and so forth, just alternating between the two. I think that that's the faster way of doing it. The other alternative is to, like I said, place it how we did that first initial row, which I find painstakingly slow. It's honestly probably a similar speed, I would say, if you were to time both methods, but I find this just a lot easier to do personally. And there we go. That is the roof complete. Well, kind of. The final step is for us to place a layer of quartz slabs all the way around the edge of the roof. Bear in mind that these are quartz slabs, not smooth quartz slabs. I always feel the need to differentiate between the two. So these will just sit like this on the outer edge of the roof, including the pillars and just behind the sign there. It's basically just to clean things up a little bit. I suppose it doesn't need to be on the pillar there, does it? And there we go. That is exactly what it should look like. With the roof finished, we have officially completed the entire outside of the build. It's now time for us to head inside and begin work on the interior. Step 1, we are just going to fix the entrance area by placing a layer of smooth quartz block all the way around the top of it, like this, so that it now connects into the ceiling. Then we are going to add a row of smooth quartz here as well, just to square off the door. We also want to add some paintings in this little hallway as well. I quite like the 1x2s. I don't even really care which ones they are, so if you're a bit more picky, feel free to, be more picky. I'm also just going to add a purple banner here, and probably we'll leave it at that. Next, let's head inside, where we will place a row of 3 cyan terracotta extending forwards from here. 1, 2, 3. Then a polished black stone wall here, mangrove fence gate here, polished black stone wall here, which we can connect to the red concrete, another gate, then another wall, cyan terracotta, join back. Then we're just going to stick some purple carpet on top of the cyan terracotta, lectern here, book and quill here. So now that we have done that, next we are going to add some seating, starting all the way over here. Place 2 mangrove stair, 1, 2, with polished black stone wall in front, oak pressure plates on top of the wall, then mangrove stairs on the opposite side. You can then choose to add mangrove signs to the sides of the stairs if you like. Then we want to leave a gap of 2 and then make pretty much the exact same thing. So leave a gap of 2 extending towards the back of the build, and then place another set of stairs, wall in front, another set of stairs on the opposite side, pressure plates on top of the wall, and then you can choose whether you want to add these signs, which I will because I do think that it looks a bit cleaner. We then want to do the same thing again. We'll leave a gap of 2 and then stairs, wall, stairs, pressure plates, signs on the sides, and that's perfect. Next, we are going to shift gears ever so slightly, but leaving a gap of 2 from the end table here, so 1, 2, we will place a cyan terracotta, which we will extend all the way to the back wall, but we also want to extend across by 2, so 1, 2. We will then place a mangrove door, cyan terracotta, extend the terracotta all the way to the back wall here. Then we are going to place 2 rows of smooth quartz block on top of the cyan terracotta like this, just extending all the way around and over the top of the door as well. Then we will place cyan terracotta on top of this. And then a final row of smooth quartz block just to connect it to the ceiling, just like this. So if you like, you can add a sign above this door. This is basically just a toilet. So you can write toilet or toilets. For some reason, toilets sounds better, even though it is one singular toilet, but I'm not the grammar police. Yet. Next, we are going to add some more seating, but of a different variety. So lining up with our previous tables, we simply want to leave gaps of 2, so 1, 2, and then place 3 mangrove slabs, 1, 2, 3, in line with where the mangrove blocks are for the original tables. Place a row of polished black stone wall in front of them, and then slabs on the opposite side, and then just stick some oak pressure plates on top. And that's it. So we are just going to place these everywhere that we have the previous set of tables, but this is a bench style seating, which if you wanted to, you could also add the signs on the sides of these, but for some reason it doesn't feel right to me. Next, we are going to make another bench, this time both in front of this window and this window. So it's the exact same thing once again. So we'll have a row of 3 mangrove slabs, the wall in front, and then another set of slabs. And then we'll stick some pressure plates on top of the walls, just like this. And this is all of the seating that we have in the building. With the seating complete, we can now focus on the stage. To place a stage, leave a gap of 1 from this mangrove slab and then place a purple concrete here. Extend the purple concrete all the way towards the front of the build, lining up with the edge of this table. Then place a row of 3, 1, 2, 3 spruce stairs extending towards this outer wall, and then 2 purple concrete actually joining to it. We can even extend those concretes up just like this. And we'll do the same on the opposite side. So 1, 2, 3 stair, 2 purple concretes, which we will then just extend forwards like this. We will then place a row of light blue terracotta, followed by purple wool, extending inwards from the purple concrete, just like this. We can then even place an additional row of, say, purple concrete here, connecting back to the wall, and then spruce planks to fill the actual stage area in itself. I'm not sure whether this looks better or not, but I did consider adding some purple banners in front of the terracotta to look a little bit more like curtains. I feel as though that kind of does. Regardless, I think that both ways look pretty good. We are then just going to apply some colour to this left wall here. Left of the stage, we will place a light blue concrete, 2 lime concrete, and then 2 red concrete, which we will extend all the way up the wall, just like this. And then on the opposite side, we'll do pretty much the same, just 1 light blue, 2 lime, 2 red, 1 light blue, 2 lime, and we will just extend all of these all the way up. Just like this. We then want to add black stone wall, extending from the edge of the top of the curtains, skirting all the way around the edge of the stage. You will notice that it just lines up with the purple concrete that we have just below it. We also want to add some glow item frames in front of the wall as well. If you start from one of the sides and just leave a gap of 1 and just keep placing the glow item frames, it should work rather nicely. It doesn't work quite as well on the sides, but I think it's still worth doing regardless. Then, on this back wall, we want to place a series of backwards looms, so like 1, 2, 3, here, like so, with item frames here, and here, and a detector rail in the middle, and music discs facing this way in the item frames. We also want to place 2 red concrete, 1, 2 here, with a polished black stone wall on top, and then a heavy core on top of the wall. We also want a polished black stone wall here, with a heavy core on top as well. And then over to the left, we will place an oak fence here with an oak pressure plate on top, leave a gap of 1, and then place a white shulker box with a lever in front of it, facing either way actually, it doesn't really matter, probably this way. And then a light grey carpet on top. We will then place an end rod here with a skeleton skull kind of like placed diagonally like this. And then we'll have a chain here, maybe 2 chains, with a yellow carpet on top, just like so. Lastly, we do just have to improve this a little bit. To do that, we will throw down a limb, open it up, red banner in there with white dye, apply the inverted chevron pattern, grab that, put that back in the loom with red dye and apply the bourgeois pattern, put white dye back in and apply the pale sinister pattern, grab that, apply that to the red concrete, and we do also just have to grab a lever as well, right here. And now we have a guitar, a music deck, and some drums, and a microphone stand. We are missing some performers, but they would go roughly like this. So there'd be one performer here, one here, one off to the side here, and of course one here. So these are currently represented by armor stands, but I do think that it would be fun to either use villagers or possibly animals later on, but we're just going to leave the armor stands there for now to represent that, and we may even just end up using the armor stands. The villagers and the animals will make noise, that's why we're not adding them now. We are also just going to add some banners as well. I don't know what kind, so maybe like one right in the middle here, and then maybe one here. So maybe we'll go for like a bunch of 1x1s. Something like that I think will look just fine. And I do just also want to add some colours to the lights as well. I'm just going to alternate between red, yellow and green, which is very reminiscent of traffic lights. But you know what? I like traffic lights, so there we go. I think that looks pretty good. Next, we are going to add some hanging lights above the middles of the bench tables specifically. So the chains dangle down from the ceiling in either rows of 1 or 2. I'm thinking 1. So a chain, lantern, and then surround it with acacia signs. We will actually try both lengths of a light just to see which we prefer, but I think this makes most sense. I find it easier just to place the chain directly onto the pressure plate, and this time we'll try a 2, rather than trying to figure out where on the ceiling to place it. It's just, I think it expedites the process a little bit. So these are the 2 choices. Do you know what? I actually like them both. I think I'm tending more towards this one, only because this is too similar an altitude to the state, but then again, it doesn't cover up the performers. Originally, I used 2s, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have them dangle down. This may be a mistake. I don't know. Maybe we could even keep... No, that'd be crazy. I was going to say maybe we could keep this one at the height that it's at, but it'd be weird just to have like a random light on the end at a different length, so we're not going to do that at all. Perfect, and as I said, it's above every single middle bench like seat, so that includes these ones on the sides as well. And then this is the last one. And that is perfect. I do believe that is all of them. Next, we are just going to swap the glass behind the mangrove stairs on the outside of the build for red concrete, because I think it just simply looks better. We'll also do the same on the opposite side of the build as well. So we've got 2 windows here that we'll swap. We'll also, by the way, swap the white concrete in the wall for quartz bricks. We only have to do it for these inward rows, though. We don't have to do it for that outer row, I don't believe. We'll see when we get there, but there we go. We do also have to add some screens as well on the ceiling. There's always loads of screens for some reason in these builds whenever I did my research. So we'll have one screen here. As you can see, it's situated between these two tables and in the aisle here. So just closest, maybe we can even shove it one row forwards, closest towards these tables. So it would go here. So one screen here, one screen here. We'll have another one here as well, and then we'll have just one here too. So just to show you, so in between this table, there's no table here, but then in between this table, and we will have the screens facing this way for these two, and we will have them facing outwards for these two. And I think that that is absolutely perfect. I really like how this looks. It looks crazy in the best way. But before we move on from this space, we do have a small play area to add over here in this corner. We can start by placing two blue concrete right here, which we will extend to the left, 2 rows, 1, 2. Then we'll place a row of smooth quartz block to the left, and then a smooth quartz stair here, smooth quartz block underneath, stair in front, dig 2 rows in front, 1, 2, and then connect to this wall. Replace all of these blocks with blue concrete. Remove the wall in between and underneath the stairs, and underneath all of these blocks actually, and then remove the dirt and replace all of this with slime. We've also got to replace these blocks, although this might look better as cyan terracotta actually. And then we can just stick, I'm going for kind of like a rainbow deal. We can just stick, maybe we'll alternate that, so place that like here, something like this. And then we have just, it's meant to kind of like look like a ball pit, but I figured we might as well make it bouncy as well. Then to the left of the smooth quartz at the back here, we will place 2 rows of red concrete extending and connecting to the wall. We will then place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 cyan concrete in this position, which we will connect to this wall. We'll stick some slime in the middle, and then black carpet on top of the slime. We will then place 1, 2, 3 yellow concrete here, 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3 here, with iron chains on top of the cyan concrete. Like this, we will have it extend all the way up to the tippity top. Then we'll stick some blue carpet on top, just like this. And this is meant to be more of a small bouncy castle area. And as you can see, it bounces, and it's, I'm not sure I'd call it a castle, but it looks pretty good in my opinion. And all we have to do now, I think that a painting would look nice, kind of like in the middle here. Not one of those. Maybe something like, you know what? That's just fine. We could even raise this if we wanted to. So it's a bit bouncier. What do we think? Did it look better before? Does it look better like that? I think maybe it looks a little bit better like that, actually. So that's pretty much it for that, ladies and gentlemen. This is the play area, and that's kind of like this entire half of the build complete. Although, actually, put a pin in that. We do just want to add a painting over here too. So, how can I make the same mistake so many times? A painting over here too. And I think that it just makes sense that we would have like a bin over here as well. I think that I actually forgot to add that in the original, but just, you know, just a bin or two. We could even have like one of these where like we have just like a tray return as well. So it'd be like this, and then something like that. We should have more bins about the place, I think. So one there, and then we'll see if we've got anywhere else that we can add them later. But for now, apart from the animatronics, this side of the build is pretty much complete. I forgot about the toilet. How could I forget the most important part of this build? Let's head inside of the room now, where we should actually smooth out this wall, I think. So I'm just going to place an upside down smooth quartz stair here, and then a spruce trapdoor on top. Then I'm just going to steal the cyan terracotta, bring it one row forwards. The same with the smooth quartz left and right of us. Cyan terracotta again, and then just smooth quartz. So just making all of this room a bit more homogeneous. Then we will place 2 rows of oak planks just right of the toilet like this. And we'll stick a door on the toilet. We will then place a light grey concrete here. And then we need to place a smooth quartz stair here, pale oak sign here, stone button here, flower pot here, then throw down the loom, open it up, light blue banner in there with white dye, apply the bend pattern, then a gradient pattern, black dye in there, apply the bourgeois pattern. This is a mirror, which we will then stick here, and now I'm wondering whether we should increase the size of the stall, but then that seems a little bit too much. What if we place a slab on top instead? I think that looks pretty good. Now, it is a little bit cramped in here, but unfortunately this is what we've got to deal with. And I do think maybe an item frame might look nice on top of here as well, but there we go. The most important room in the entire build, except maybe the kitchen because that's where the food is complete. Next, we are going to focus on the food ordering area and the prize desk. To begin, we will place 3 red concrete extending right of this cyan terracotta. 1, 2, 3. Leave a gap of 1 and then place 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Place a cyan terracotta followed by 4 blue concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then place 2 glass pane, 1, 2, and then extend backwards by 3. 1, 2, 3. Place 2 cyan terracotta, 1, 2, just like this. Stick smooth quartz block on top of these, extending up to the ceiling. And whilst we're at it, maybe we should use quartz bricks in this case, ladies and gentlemen, and then we can actually replace these white concretes with quartz bricks as well, and that will just look a lot cleaner. We will then place a row of 5 block of iron extending left of this wall here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This does leave a cavity. I'm sure there's a reason I did this? Question mark. We'll find out later. We will then place a cyan terracotta, extend it to this back wall, then place quartz bricks extending up on top of it to the ceiling. We can then place a block of iron extending up on top of our block of iron just like this. This is going to be a prize wall. We do also, in fact, have to extend both the cyan terracotta and the quartz bricks forwards, just like this, to create a wall. And then we want to be able to go between both of these areas, so we just have to create a little doorway, just like this. Then we are going to add 2 rows of red concrete across the top of the food collection area like this, and we'll actually even extend the bottom row all the way back just like this. We've got a real blend of materials in this room, and it's minorly, it's kind of weird looking, but before we do anything about it, I think that we'll also place 2 rows of blue concrete extending across the top of the prize area and joining to this back wall. In addition to this, we do also want to remove underneath the glass, place blue concrete. We will then place pale oak shelves here in this position, and also here as well, just extending up. I'm thinking maybe we will just blue concrete the top of this, but I do like the idea that the prizes do go a little bit further up. Like, it adds a bit more intrigue, I think, to have to actually like peek in and take a look at this. We will also later on need a pale oak shelf both here and here as well, and we do also have a polished blackstone stair here, and that is it for the materials that we have on us. But this does lead us to this area here. Now, what I'm thinking is we we should add a layer of cyan terracotta here and smooth quartz this back wall. And I think that that will simply just look better. It looks a little bit less messy this way. I'm even wondering if maybe we should smooth quartz this center part. I think it would look better. I don't think it so matters about the side wall. So like we'll just extend this like so. Yeah, I think that that looks better, and then this side wall has and always will just be the quartz. I just think that that just looks a little bit cleaner to my eye. So we also have to create an entrance into the kitchen, which is right here. It's just like right in the middle of this wall. We'll stick an oak door. We will place 2 rows of 3 block of iron in this corner, and we will also place glass pane here along this countertop. We will also place 2 red concrete in the back corner here, extending across the wall. And this might be it for the materials that I have in the inventory. I've rarely been trying to use all of them. Oh, no, we do also have a pale oak shelf here or maybe here. I think that there is better. Next, we will place a brewing stand over here on the counter with a flower pot to the right of it. 2 chests here. Then we will place an item frame here. Birch trapdoor here, then 2 black concrete here, 1 here, and we will fill these with paintings of any variety. We will then place an oak hanging sign here, which will simply read ice cream. Just like this. And we do also have to add, let's pretend that that's not there. Let's add an iron bar right here. Next, we will place cauldrons behind the red concrete here and place some different coloured carpets on top of the cauldrons. In these shelves, we will place a pointed dripstone, flower pot, and then a golden shovel. That is the food ordering area complete. Next, the prize area. To begin, we will just place an item frame here and a paper inside of it. We will also grab an oak hanging sign and place it somewhere around here, maybe like in the middle, which, I mean, we'll literally just write like redeem prizes here, something like that. Or maybe we'll just like write the word prize. I think redeem prizes here is fine. Next, we are going to dig in front of these shelves here and place a crafting table, cartography table, and then a fletching table. We will also place a crafting table, cartography, fletching, and smithing table along the back here. We do also just want to place a bunch of different heads, however you want to place them really, just in front of the block of iron. I've got some, I've pretty much got every single head here, and then I'm going to stick a tripwire hook here on the end. Yellow banner here, magenta banner here. I'm going to fill these shelves up with swords, then these shelves with bows and an arrow. I'm going to fill this shelf in here with different chest plates, this shelf in here with leggings. I forgot this shelf existed, but we're going to stick some helmets in here. Then for these shelves, I'm going to place some different horse armors. Here, Totem of Undying, TNT, and a firework rocket. And then this one, I think we'll go for a trident, mace, and then a golden axe, because why not? And I think that this is a pretty enticing looking prize area. With the food area complete and the prize area complete, we can now head into the back of the build and begin work on the kitchen. First of all, we have to install a wall. To do this, we will leave a gap of 4 right of this door here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we will place a row of cyan terracotta extending from the wall to this wall, and then we just have to add, what shall we use? We have a blend of materials here. I think it might be best to use smooth quartz to block off this wall, and then this is a fake wall actually. Okay, perfect. So what we can do here is we can just replace all of these bricks with smooth quartz, and then that way we are beset by smooth quartz, and it would look nicer. We might even do something with the ceiling. It would look nicer for these rows on the right to match these rows on the left. So perfect, we have a good starting point now. In this corner we will stack 2 rows of 3 block of iron and then stick an iron bar here. We will leave a gap of 1 and we will install a door here. In this corner we'll have 2 furnaces with extractor fans above in the form of 2 stone stairs and a polished blackstone pressure plate here and a detector rail here. Then in the middle of this wall we will stack 2 pale oak shelves. We will also have a row of 2 by 3 polished andesite, just like this. Maybe we'll actually stick it right in the middle of the room. That would actually look a little bit better, I think. If you place it right, you've basically just got like 2 rows of smooth stone surrounding it. Brewing stand here, flower pot here, birch trapdoor here, a couple of item frames here, some horn coral let's try that again. Some horn coral fan in the item frames. We can stick a chest here. We can chuck a couple of brown shulker boxes here. Oh, we do also just have to have a couple of pale oak shelves here as well, which we can stack with anything. I think there are a couple of brewing stands and a couple of flower pots and maybe something else, maybe just like some chests or something will be just fine. And in this one, anything that resembles a culinary tool I think will just work rather nicely. And that's actually the kitchen mostly complete. I am considering this though, so I'm trying to find a slab block. So okay, perfect. So I'm thinking that we add a layer of slabs running up to the top of the ceiling here. I think that will just look better. And there's no actual light in here. So what if we just have a simple lantern on a chain dangling down into there isn't a middle. There isn't a middle. Maybe just like here. Or maybe here so that it's not quite in the way. Maybe something like that. Just a chain and a lantern just hanging down. It's not really in anybody's way exactly. And then, ladies and gentlemen, once you've done that, we can head into this room, which is a bit of a storage area. Now, in here, we are just going to clad this back wall with cyan terracotta. And then we'll stick a series of iron trapdoors extending up this wall, just like so. Maybe we'll even just make it so there's 2 rows. And then at the top, we'll stick like a pumpkin, some melon, some brown candles. On this side of the wall, I think that we'll also just kind of clad this wall too. Just like this. And then in this corner, 2 white concretes, some stone buttons in front, maybe like a couple of blocks of iron and some iron trapdoors on top. Maybe we could have some extra tools in here as well, maybe something like this, and then we can just stick some item frames here and here, and we can just stick any raw materials that you want. It doesn't have to be like the meats, it can be anything. And then here we can just stick some just like extra culinary tools. And I think that this is going to be pretty good. I'm once again considering whether we should like just add a little bit to the ceiling or just leave it at that. I think that this is actually fine. And there we go. That's the kitchen, and that's just like a nice little walk-in freezer / food store. You know what? Since it is kind of like a walk-in freezer, why don't we, in the very middle here, install a campfire, and we'll just need a slab as well. So campfire here, slab here, and then we'll just get this effect, which I think is quite nice. And we'll just leave it at that. Okay, maybe we'll just have like just a sign on the wall because it looks professional. And that's it, we'll leave it at that. And those are these 2 rooms complete, which means that we can now head back out onto the main floor. With everything else done, we can now begin work on the arcade. Our journey begins over here. leave a gap of 1 and then place a red concrete on the ground. Extend left and right, then 1 row backwards, place a row of red terracotta behind this, and then place 2 rows on top. Stick a row of black carpet on top of that. Then place a mixture of item frames, and I'm recommending creeper heads, but any heads would work in this situation, on top of the red concrete, like this. Stick an item frame here with an iron trapdoor inside of it, and a pale oak button placed on the block, like this. Stick a polished black stone button here, mangrove sign here. We're just going to write the words whack a creeper inside of the sign. That is unfortunate. We forgot to add the dashes underneath. Then we are going to place a birch fence here with a heavy core on top. That is the mallet. We also have to throw down a limb, open it up, black banner in there with lime dye. First, apply the bend pattern, followed by the bourgeois pattern, and there you go. We can place these banners across the back of the machine, and there you have whack-a-mole, or in this case, whack-a-creeper. To the left of whack-a-creeper is an air hockey table. We simply leave a gap of 3 from this block, 1, 2, 3, and then we place 2 white concrete powder, 1, 2, extending left, then a red concrete powder, 2 white concrete powder. We then extend each of these 2 rows this way, so 1, 2, 1, 2. We then clad the side of the concrete powders with dark oak trapdoors. We then place an additional 2 trapdoors on top of the middle trapdoor. This is on both sides, like this. We place dark oak fence gates in between the middle pair at the top. And then we place, this is getting increasingly more difficult, we then place blue carpet across the top there. We can then place a pale oak sign here in the middle, and you can just write the score. So like, I'd probably just like write 0, or alternatively, you could go like 0, 0, but that kind of just looks like a face, which is kind of funnier actually. And then in the middle, I'd place a polished blackstone button, and then maybe like an item frame here, an item frame here, and I think that looks really good. Next, we are going to make some ticket machines. Begin by placing a cyan terracotta in this position, with smooth quartz block extending all the way up on top of it. Lime concrete here, 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 and here. Then place item frames here, here, with paper inside of them. Polished blackstone buttons here and here, with pale oak signs here, so you can just write the word ticket or tickets or something. I'm not sure what to write in them, to be honest, but let's just go with ticket, because I think that kind of like gets the point across, and you know what, it's a little bit more mysterious. Throw down limb, open it up, light blue banner in there with black dye. First of all, apply the fess pattern, followed by the bourgeois pattern. That's it. Stick it here and here, and there we go, we have some ticket machines. So the idea being that you win tickets from the arcade games, feed them into the machine, you get a token or a piece of paper, which is effectively just another ticket telling you how many tickets you have. It's ticketception really, and then you go and redeem said tickets at the prize vendor. That was a stupidly long explanation for something that you guys already know all about. Anyway, we are going to make another one of these ticket machines all the way over here near the bathroom, because it just kind of fits nicely. So lime concrete here, leave a gap, another lime concrete. Let's apply the pale oak sign that just says ticket, and then item frame here, paper here, polished blackstone button here, and then the banner here, and I think that's just a nice place for it. And once you have done that, we are going to come all the way over here into the corner. Here we will make some generic arcade machines. So we'll start off by placing a row of 3, 1, 2, 3 magenta concrete here. Leave a gap, place 3 light blue concrete, leave a gap, 3 lime concrete. Extend the top and bottom blocks 1 row forwards each. Place a single painting in the middle of all of these with a lever in front of the painting. Then place item frames in front of the bottom of the machines with iron trapdoors in the item frames. Stick stone buttons onto the actual blocks, and then we can label these machines. So if you can think of any names of games, I'm going to go with Pac-Man. I'm going to go with... Was Sonic ever an arcade game? I feel as though it might have been. I'm going to go with Sonic, and I'm going to go with another one that I know was once upon a time an arcade game, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But if you would prefer any particular... And you know what? Maybe this machine should be yellow since it's Pac-Man, but I'm not going to do it. The blue actually matches Sonic, and so does the green for the Turtles, which was actually unplanned. What a happy little accident. Next, I just remembered that we have to add a false wall all the way along the inside of this wall. The reason being is we have some arcade games, mainly the claw machines, and we need to have a cavity that has to be built into the wall. So, just in case you were curious, that's why we're doing it. Perfect. Next, let's make some skee ball machines. Leave a gap of 1 from this corner, and then place a row of 7 yellow concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Extend up 1, and then place alternating target, and then yellow concrete blocks, extending back along the row. Place black concrete across the top of this, and yellow carpet across the top of that. Then place mangrove signs above these, and you can just write a score, which again, it kind of makes sense just to write 0 above all of these. I don't know why, I have a compulsion to add dashes both above and below any kind of like writing or whatever. I think it just looks better. Then we are going to extend this yellow concrete forwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave a gap and then do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gap, 1, 2, 3, 4, gap, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this. We will then place mangrove planks underneath the target blocks, then mangrove stairs in front of the planks, and then we will remove the remaining blocks in front of this in between the yellow concrete and replace those with mangrove. We want to place black stained glass pane around and in between the mangrove planks with item frames on top of the planks, just like this. We also want item frames both here and here. Then we will simply place iron trapdoors in the item frames and then polished black stone buttons on the remaining blocks. And I have just remembered that we also have to place some wither skeleton skulls at the ends here as well to act as balls. There we go. That is skee ball. To the left of this is a basketball game, which is made by placing a row of blue concrete directly to the left of the skee ball, extending from the floor to the ceiling. We will then extend the block that touches the ceiling to the left by 2, 1, 2, and then all the way down to the ground. Place a target block here, blue concrete extending down just like so. Then place a polished black stone block here, polished black stone stair here. Remove these 2 blocks, replace them with polished black stone. Place blue concrete left and right of the polished black stones. Then place 2 blue concrete here, 2 blue concrete here. Flip up some oak trapdoors here, and here on these sides, with black stained glass pane here, and iron bars on top, iron bars here as well, black stained glass pane here, then we will place a web here, item frame here, iron trapdoor here, polished black stone button here, and then an orange shulker box here. And that is very complicated, isn't it? But oh, we're not even done actually. So I don't know whether to use a mangrove sign or maybe a pale oak sign. We'll go with mangrove, and we'll just write a score up here as well, which again, I'm just going with 0 for everything, which feels a bit lazy, but you know what? There's no one here, so there's no one playing on the machines, and there we go. Next, we are going to make a motorcycle racing game. To begin, we will place a row of 7 red concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, along the base of this wall. We will then leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then we will place alternating black and white concrete, extending back to the basketball machine. We will then remove all of the bricks in between here, stick note blocks in the middle, and then black concrete or black concrete powder in the cavity here. We then want to have some 1x2 paintings in the middle of these screen areas. Then we are going to remove 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, from in front of the machine, like this. We will make the middle row white concrete, and then the rest of the rows cyan terracotta, just like this. We will stick a stone button. Actually, let's not go with stone. Let's go with a polished black stone button right in the middle here. Then we will place a black concrete here, lime concrete here, smooth quartz stair here, black concrete here, stone buttons either side of the black concretes, then levers either side of the line. And you can leave it like this, or you can add a windshield on top of the bike. I don't know which I prefer, but we've got to make another one, so we'll have both. So black concrete here, yellow concrete here, smooth quartz stair here, black concrete here, stone buttons either side of the black concretes, then levers here, and then as you can see, you don't have to have a windshield, and you can change the colour of the motorcycles and almost anything in the arcade, by the way. To the left of the motorcycle game, we have to make some claw machines. To do this, we will leave a gap of 1 and then place 2 light blue concrete, 1, 2, followed by 2 orange and then 2 lime concrete. We will then remove 3 rows in the wall above these, and we will exchange the blocks behind the concretes for the same coloured concretes. We will also place 2 rows of the same coloured concrete extending forwards from the top of the wall here. Then we will place, I'd recommend just placing a prize in the back left corner of each one of the coloured areas here. And then we can place just, it's kind of up to you how you want to go about it, but just some paintings to clad the back of this. And then just glass in front of these. I don't think it really matters that there's not like a claw or what have you. I think it's quite obvious what this is meant to be, especially if you add a lever here and some stone buttons here. I think that it's even better. Next, we are going to make a bowling game all the way over here in this corner by placing a row of red concrete along the left, top and right side of this wall. We will then extend the red concrete down a row, cyan terracotta underneath, and then black concrete below. We will then extend all of the red concrete 1 row forwards, like this. Although I'm wondering if red terracotta would look nicer, like in the middle here at the top, just like this. I think it will. And then we will place end rods here and here, with iron trapdoors underneath these. We will then place stone stairs underneath the entire machine, and we will then exchange these 2 blocks here for red concrete. So just below where the actual the alley is. Is that what you call it? That you throw the ball down? What? The lane. The stone stairs are 1 row below the actual lane. We are also just going to add a screen up here in the form of a polished off stair, a couple of black concretes in the middle, and then just a, well, then a painting here. That one's fine, I guess. We are then going to remove 5 rows from in front of the stairs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like this. This is the smallest bowling alley known to man, by the way. And then these 2 middle rows are made using oak planks. Then we will make the gutters by placing smooth stone slabs just either side. We are going to place some oak trapdoors along the sides here. I'm thinking of changing the material to the left and right of the lane, but I don't know what to change it to. Might it be better just to like have cyan terracotta or something? Because it looks a little bit weird, I think, otherwise. I think that looks a little bit better. We can make some pins by just placing a bunch of candles like this, just at the back. You can have 2 rows of them, or you can leave them like that. I think that's just fine. We'll have a skeleton skull facing this way on the lane. And then I think that we'll just create a rack using spruce trapdoors here, like this. And then we can just have a rack for the bowling balls. There you go. I guess we could have another one on this side as well if we wanted to, although we won't. We could even have like a score or something here on this side too. So just something like a simple screen, I think might work nicely. And then you could have just like a simple painting in it or something like that. I think would work nice. And we could even have paintings along the sides of the aisle as well. I think that this lends itself to a 1 and a 2 sort of situation, like this. And this is such a cute little bowling alley. And there you go. That's all there is to it. You could elongate this a little bit if you wanted to, although you'd then have to shrink this. But I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. And once you've done that, ladies and gentlemen, you have actually made every single game in the arcade. We have one last thing to do before we end this tutorial, the animatronics. I'm going to give you 3 different options. Option number 1, we can use heads of any variety and then armor on the armor stands, and then that is a fully great looking animatronic character. You don't just have to stick to Steve's, you can use zombies, piglings, whatever. Option 2, which is a little bit more organic, we can use barriers to box in some villagers. So we can use barrier blocks, which, by the way, to give yourself a barrier block, /give your name, and then start typing Minecraft : barrier, and there you go, barrier blocks. We can then stick a villager, name tag it, which, to make a name tag, anvil, open it up, put a name tag in there, and then you can just you call it literally whatever you like. I mean, I always go for the same name tag for obvious reasons. And then that villager will never go away, and that's perfect. The final option is to still use barrier blocks to box in the animatronics, but I think it might be funny to use mobs instead of villagers or anything humanoid. So, for instance, we have a pig as the singer. And you know what, just because it's going to be tricky to box in the drummer, I am just going to keep the armor stand here and just make it a creeper playing the drums. And I think that this is a pretty fun collection of animatronics. We could even add one more, maybe like on the side of the stage over here. I'm thinking, what if we just add a cow, just to, straight out left field. What about that? I think that is a fun collection. I think that this is a pretty fun collection of characters for the stage. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. With that final detail added, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our Chuck E. Cheese into our city. To the city! I think that we have two good options on where we can put this. Number one, we can place it in the new suburban suburbs. It has just been revamped last week, so I am a little hesitant to add anything to it just yet. Or, as this is a more modern build, I think that the new modern section of the city may be a better fit. I'm going to place it all the way over here, next to Petco. Eventually, I'm going to create a small strip mall / retail park, and this will just fit in really nicely. There we go. What do you think? You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labeled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini-City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.